What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're here today, something a little bit different. We're here with the Apex Legends Global Series, their Split 2 playoffs. This format and the Apex Legends competitive scene is really fun to watch. I've been having a lot of fun watching these guys, so I thought I'd record a little bit of the video and bring it to you guys too. They have the top 20 Apex Legends teams all battling out right now in London on LAN to bring home the Split 2 playoffs. They're basically not their world champion, but their champion of their playoffs for this split. Let's check out the top 20 teams right now as Blackhand is
even with the melee, no light ammo left in the chamber here. Strafing Flame and Bugie. I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
Blackhand, the first squad to go down in this finals lobby.
A lot of teams I don't even know, so we're gonna have a lot of fun getting to know some of these teams, watching them here battle it out for Split 2 playoffs champs.
It feels like Geo didn't change their composition as much. You don't play Crypto and Loba generally if you're going for that early contest, and yet they still come out on top. That's
very
a very
cool
impressive fight win here.
To look at the different setups that these teams have.
Taking the high ground, well
like he's talking
Geo.
about.
You know,
This is a
also
Loba,
mean here,
Crypto,
Geo,
and
that
Rampart
also means that
setup.
they're very confident to be in this late game and win this 50-52, because this is the type of composition that you could force into that final circle
this is a
position once you settle
Japanese
down with
or
the black market, get the loot
Chinese
that you need
team.
without having to overextend,
Not
settle
100%
down
sure.
with the Rampart barriers as well. GL now going to be able to loot the rest of Landside as we take a look
at
where
the
our
big
circle's
map
gonna be taking
on the
us.
right.
Okay, we've got a hard east shift, and there's one
100 Thieves, Xset, Dark Zero, the world champions. We got Optic Gaming, Alliance, Moist eSports, NRG, of course.
In the bottom two quadrants. So Moist
Lots of good
still making
teams
that work. This is going to be so
still in
much
this
easier
game.
for them. They love
All
a circle
20.
that comes to them. They love being in the zone. This is going to work in their favor.
So how this point system works out too, it's a little bit different in the Apex Legends eSports. They have to get 50 total points to be on what they call match point. And then once they get to 50 points, they have to get one win. They have to win the whole game. And then so you have to get to 50 points and get a win after you get to 50 points to become the Apex Legends Split 2 playoffs champions.
As FaZe also making their way into Overlook.
So it's pretty cool. I really like it. I enjoy watching it.
Moist obviously now, yes,
It's gonna be could be a long day of games, so let's
that's why
hang
you
out,
see them set up on the silo. Obviously, one
check
of the
it
best
out
positions
together.
you can have.
We got FaZe with
Other
Snipe
teams
down
are starting
still
to
in this.
pile in though. Dark Zero FC destroy
Fighting
Optic,
Moist
TSM
eSports.
Fire Beavers. You know, it's one of those rings where you really do want to get in one of those buildings, maybe a position down the back where Moist is. It can be quite hard to weed your way into the circle afterwards because there really are a lot of strong positions in Overlook to hold early on.
And one of them, aside from the fact that Moist is holding the spot, you talk about 50-50 rotations depending on where the circle of Overlook may be pulling. We've seen the circle end up on the crates over to the side
Moist
of Moist.
eSports
You can
has
see
been
that they're
playing
looking
really
behind
well.
them just in case
I
there's any
was watching the
cheap
highlights of the
rotations
games
that we may be
yesterday,
seeing with either a Skyward Dive or an evac tower. We're gonna have
which
to see. I know at one point you used to be
led
able to
to
wrap
these
around
top
the
20
rock,
teams. I
leading
think
Big
60
Bod with
total
a Valkyrie
teams
Skyward Dive off the
went to
height,
land.
but just looking to their backs just in case. But they could also
Maybe
rotate
40.
through the choke point over
And
to
they
the
cut it
side,
down to 20
depending
for
on
this
where that
game.
circle is going to be pulling. And there would have to deal with squads like
We got Optic Gaming.
who have a crafter, which is so
Still
important to
in
know.
it.
At the moment, you have to worry about the shotgun bolt, the double tap
Knocked,
trigger.
dropped, and
Soon
Skittle
though, if it hasn't
Cakes.
changed already,
Skittle
the
Cakes,
weekly
one
rotation
of the
will introduce the mobile
most well-known
respawn beacon,
Apex
which
Legend
is
pros
going
out
to be
there.
huge
Knocked
for some
also.
of these teams.
Yeah, it could even just depend on how long today's games go for, Vicky. But yeah, as you pointed out there's probably not going to be a huge amount of those attachments getting pulled out. Pros tend to shy away from the double tap, even if they prefer that scout.
Making
they
him a
like
purple
the
backpack.
single shot. And shotguns at the moment really just not that much in the meta, right? So.
Oh, they're getting shot.
Oh
Ascend.
no, post kill. Gotta land. Look at him. He's shimmy-shedding his way left and right.
Pioneers,
Dancing right through
a
those
really
bullets.
good squad with
Pinging them, it's
Nasty
going to be KCP on
and
the floor. And
Surdell.
with the Skull Piercer on that 30-30. Talking about that damage. They're
That
also
30-30
able to secure
does
this
work.
building right here in No
It's
Name.
like a
Just
marksman.
looking at the squads that are going to be able to rotate away from Fragment East. Oxygen,
Oh, no.
Gambare, as
Ascend.
by the same crate
Still
house.
getting
He has
hurt.
a board. Going in for an
two people down.
May actually cause the post kill. After
TSM
to ascend as our second
puts him
spot
down
to exit out of his first game lobby in 19th.
with Verholst, Imperial Hal, one of the most well-known Apex Legends squads in the
really
world.
hard for them. It's not particularly a POI the teams want to find themselves on, because sure, you can loot it quickly and try and make your way towards some of those zones, but as you can see, that it's
Imperial
risky
Hal is
when you get
crazy.
in and
Crazy good.
as many matrix moves as you might want to make. It's not enough
Verholst,
to keep Ascend alive.
one of the best controller players in the world.
So many fans in the crowd cheering for TSM, looking for another dub, another trophy.
TSM
under
also a
their
fan
belts.
favorite.
So much pressure here
Lots
for
of
this
fun.
team, but they are feeling so confident going
Checking
into
them out
this.
here.
So TSM, they're quite split right now, actually. There's two going up. We've got Verhulst. You can see actually just using a Dark Veil on nice and early, 2-minute cooldown on that, no worries at all for him. Worth it to grab some loot here. While the other member actually
I
all
like
the
that
way
catalyst
back
wall.
in the
Those
tunnel
things are
coming
crazy.
from Geyser. So they need to make sure they don't get split
We got
apart,
Luminosity
and hopefully no
Gaming.
one's, going to creep up on them, anything like that. But I like that position they're playing, because
From
it does lend
Mexico
themselves, one,
squad,
to,
I
if
believe.
the circle goes to the back of Overlook, but sometimes it does pull right in front of the tunnel doors in that open area.
Yeah, and it also gives them enough information to see if any teams do rotate through that tunnel, which we already mentioned, and saw Optic Gaming using the Crafter over by Geyser.
Ooh.
And if we could see where this next circle is going to be
Okay.
pulling, Genome, you just talked about this right here,
Yep.
depending on the positioning of TSM. And, they also have the natural cover, aside from the crates, of the rock side here in that foundation, so they could deal with that as LG playing more outside the circle to get information of where that next ring is going to be.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit north of where Optic are right now. But teams
So
who
Dark
are in
Zero,
the
KCP.
Ghost Town area, no name, you guys might know it by. I don't think they're going to be. It's actually a hard one to call. I would expect it more to go towards TSM and that tunnel rotation we were talking about just then. But maybe some of the teams in Ghost Town will be okay for another ring or two.
But it also trickles down to how risky it could be sometimes to go for some of these early rotations.
Fire
depending on how many
Beavers.
teams
I love that
and their
name.
Positioning, if they settle down in Overlook
Another team I
very
don't know
early,
jack
they
squat
can
about.
also find you in a sandwich that you don't want to be in. The squad's rotating away from Fragment East. The squad's rotating from the north side of Overlook. There is a ring console of Overlook. You mentioned it earlier when Moist landed in their POI when they got that set of information. So many other teams with this rotate looking at Riddle Order, trying to go for a scout, see which of these teams may
Sorry about
be
that.
found. Cheer saw the Nemesis over to the side too.
Dogs probably found a squirrel or something in the backyard.
Okay, Riddle Order, the most northerly of the teams right now. They're on top of Fire Beavers, obviously a team who has looked for many, many fights throughout this tournament. And they're probably happy to be seeing that ring continue south as they try and follow some teams in and grief them on the way down.
One of our APAC North squads, and after what happened with APAC North losing their spot last LAN, they're coming back for blood. They've been going huge here. I got to run into them earlier on, and they were so nice. Yukio with the style and the sunglasses, now looking at this fight with Moist eSports.
Okay, so one of the advantages Moist had of the position they took up in Overlook was that they did have control of that ring console. It means they get ring 3 information. Very important. They then use the evac tower to come back now into No Name. We've seen that. They got seer scanned on the way in, but they have
There's
just
5
managed
teams in that
to get a
little
prime
complex right
position
there.
in one of these buildings.
And Optic Gaming, Skittle Cakes just hanging out
Coming
back there.
in over on the other side onto FC. Playing split up by some of the squads that are already in Overlook that may have not gotten that information.
NRG,
prior,
I
like
think, is
Moist
underneath
did,
in the
and then
tunnel.
the Ghost Town that you mentioned before that Moist have already made their rotation to. The scary part is rotating away from No Name into, if the circle does pull more so towards the tunnel, could leave you out in the open and would benefit teams like TSM that just have to clear the east side of the edge of that circle. Talking about the squads that are still in Overlook. That's a really good position for them to be in because they also won't be in a bad spot because they'll have the slight high ground that is provided there in that natural land.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing about TSM's position is I was talking about how it had access to that circle and then the back Overlook circle. If they can win their way through the tunnel, they can also make it into Ghost Town. So that one's a little bit harder, but, they're not exposed that much as they push through there. It just depends if we've got, any other caustics that can block them on the way.
Imperial Hal with a
There's
triple
only one
take.
in the lobby right now. That will be Yuki from Alliance.
I like that gun.
Yuki loves caustic. It's just an insane caustic too in general. And it benefits amazingly on World's Edge for a lot of these final circles too, especially.
Alliance
Actually,
also a
talking about
really good
Alliance right now.
squad.
Looking at their position, playing by the
They
bids
had a
here
little
is to take a much more
thing
edge
on
approach.
effect
Also looking to
before
see if
this
squads are going to be rotating
game
away
started.
from
It was
Lava
pretty
Siphon,
cool.
but I believe most of the teams right now have already rotated
Supposedly their best
by
player.
Geyser, close to the north side of the map already too, closer to Overlook and Fragment. Teams like Exit that like to play on the edge too are going to be one of the squads late rotating away from Fragment.
I mean, this has already been a very tight lobby, hasn't it, Vicky? I mean, we've seen two teams go down, sure, but
We
they
saw
were,
Alliance and
pretty
then
safe
Imperial
picks,
Howl looked
honestly,
at the
for
same
teams
care
who are
package.
going at them. No one's
Just at
really
the same
taken
exact
any
time.
particularly risky
Pretty cool.
fights just yet. That will happen next circle. There isn't enough room, really, for 18 teams now.
Looking in the distance, Exit already have information
Exet.
of the squad that may have height over here on the
Really
other side
good
of
squad
that
here.
While
Nocturnal
Exit
used
does
to play
do
for
this, though, I'm not
LG along with
expecting them to go
Monsoon.
for any heavy engagements. The circle going to be closing in a minute and less than 50 seconds at this moment. Looking great in terms of loop, but that's what happens when you play outside the circle. Take your time in the ring, then you make this rotate over here. But while they are also making this noise, they're letting the squads that have already the building in no name to look at the train tracks, maybe look at where these other teams are going to be approaching from that slight low
I think
ground.
that was going
close
to
where
do
the
besides
respawn
give your
building is in the
freaking
ghost town.
position away.
And Ghost Town is where it looks like this next circle has pulled. It's gone very central. A lot of it was over that sort of Vault Mountain pass, and thus it's gone north of there to lock in, say, Optic, TSM, Pioneers, Moist, Dark Zero even.
Well, we see this fight. Pulverex already in a lot of trouble. Look
Pulverex
who's
and Dark
secured
Zero,
this
the
building in Ghost Town.
current
It's gonna be
world
Dark Zero.
champions.
Oh, okay, Zero. Realizes he can't play that position. He's got Pulverex under them. You do see teams often coexist in this space, but I've got to say, especially with Catalyst in the meta, those positions under there are terrible. You will constantly be having piercing spikes just getting thrown at you. You're going to waste ammo to deal with them. You can see, actually, it looks like they're just going to full send them right now.
Yeah, just dropping down already. You saw the black hole
Here
put
they
down
come.
already by Zero, but they lose out on
News
Zyno,
down,
which
though.
I'm surprised he was the first to drop. He had the white evil shield there. That's going to benefit Pulverex and even out this fight because they also lost one of the teammates.
Yeah,
but the
that's 2v2
gravity
there.
lift immediately as Zyno's going to be able to get put down there means that they could go for a potential reset with the Catalyst helping them out. Riddle Order also in a fight. Fnatic getting eliminated in your feeds currently. 17 squads here. Viac is going to try to be able to contest with 2 knocks already there. Easy
Fire
cleanup
Beavers
for
eliminated.
Riddle Order as Fire Beavers are your 17th squad to get eliminated. F-Chan fighting for his
Now
absolute
Dark
life.
Zero
His back
still
is to
fighting
TSM and Dark
Pulverex.
Zero have the front here. They're able to clean them up, and Zainu now has extra
But
loot to
Skittle
deal with.
Cake
I mean, that was a little bit risky there
actually
by Dark Zero,
gets a
but they
kill.
have calculated it well.
So I think
They clear
Optics
out
around
from,
somewhere.
yeah, the Pulverex from underneath themselves, as well as you say, getting that extra loot. But it also means
FaZe
that their
versus
spaces
TSM.
they've got a little less to contend with. If they have to push out of there, having a team under you can
Imperial
be
Howl
terrible.
put some
You
shots
can't
on Snipe
always
down.
rely on other teams to clear out those positions.
What's worrisome here, TSM have been holding this position from the very beginning, and they see that the circle is shifting away. You mentioned the split positioning from this squad, but the moment that circle pulls away from them, it's going to be tricky. They're looking to engage in a fight that's already happening in front of them.
Yep.
It's against FaZe as Frex falls incredibly low. The catwall maybe giving them some time to reset. Deleting the black hole here. Frex is in trouble still, and so is Snipe down. Literally one shot as Phony Head tries to run away.
Oh, Riddle Order, 100 Thieves on the back of this as well. TSM looking
FaZe
to maybe
eliminated.
do a little bit of griefing. Riddle,
Riddle
they won
Order.
that first fight against Fire Beavers.
Oh, Yukio with the wingman shots here. Riddle Order still in trouble.
That
Only
wingman
one
is
tappy
insane.
left on the Bloodhound, having to avoid the Arc Star. Hit fire shots with the Prowler, but look to your 6. It's another team. Can he go for the shield swap? It
went
looks
for
like
the
it was
shield
already
swap, but he
empty.
missed.
He tries to get away, and look who's getting involved. It is TSM getting the knock onto Yukio. We're looking to get involved in this fight from the very beginning, and the Catalyst Wall has allowed them to delete this line of sight from the squads in the Ghost Town. Riddle Order now get taken out.
A fantastic 3 points there from TSM. Barely even committing. Only just now have all 3 members got back
My
together.
plug came
the
unplugged
entire
from my
time.
computer.
Didn't get vision of which one it was, but one of them really
I got
holding
it,
down that tunnel because they do want to secure that route back to the tunnels for themselves. So many teams eliminated up the top.
12 squads
Dark
left.
Zero even managing to snag one of those kills
Alliance
away.
here and
Dark-
Oxygen eSports
Zero
pretty
himself,
close.
Very good at range with the Nemesis.
Alliance
And safely inside that
engaging
building too, but the
onto
circle
Oxygen.
is pulling away from that eventually into the Ghost Town area where KCP have been
TSM
settled
with
down from the
16
very
points
beginning.
already.
You mentioned TSM maybe looking
Moist
for the
with
rotational
12.
approach through the tunnel, but guess who else is there? Optic Gaming from the beginning. So has LG, as they are going to be rotating from the
Alliance,
south side of the map.
Oxygen, and Dark
Have also
Zero.
had to deal with Optic Gaming. If LG
All
isn't careful, yes, they
remaining
can
with
lead
good
on the brink
points
of
to
the circle,
start.
but they could also get sandwiched by TSM if they end up committing to rotating from the tunnel.
Ooh, is this actually going to be a commitment here from Alliance and Exit? I would have thought
Alliance.
they'd get out of each other's way, but
Knocks
Alliance
one of
got
Exet,
one and
two of Exet down, all of Exet
On the ground and back
gets
to the
wrecked
lobby.
by Alliance.
Alliance with the crowd cheering right behind them, giving them their
Alliance,
energy.
a found
We saw
fan favorite.
The legend effect coming out to
But
his
here comes
first
Oxygen.
land with confidence. Oxygen approaching from the slight high ground hilltop close
Oxygen's
to the choke point
coach
and
has
exits
a
out of
nice
Geyser.
suit on.
They have a nice rotation because
looks
this is where the next
insanely
circle is
good.
going to be pushing.
Alliance always late to the party, but they make a splash when they get there, don't they? Exit have been
think we're gonna try to
struggling
put about
earlier on in
3
the tournament.
games
We
on
thought
one of
maybe
these
they turned
videos
their
at a
fortunes
time.
around. Game 1
We'll upload
doesn't
it and
lend that
keep going
any
until
hope
it's
for
over.
them, but no teams anywhere near 50 points yet, Vicky, so still plenty of time for the Split 2 winners from NA to come back into this. Now, as we get a look, that is essentially where the ring will end up. Any long-time APAC South fans might remember a classic moment from here, actually, where we had Team Great, a last chance qualifier team who won the championship in that very position.
So
NRG,
epic to be able to recall moments like this and
Gilderson
remember
knocked.
these teams who have put in so much. We're talking about Guild though now. NRG in some trouble. Nathan being able to pop the Phoenix again.
Here comes Dark Zero.
Dark Zero dancing around, fully trying to send it here. Zainu gets
They got
taken
2
out,
down
but
too.
so
It's a
does
1v1.
NRG. Dark Zero with the approach and the gold knockdown shield to get the
Oh, no, they
rest
got him.
with some extra help.
Oh, and Jin Burton,
Sorry.
he's clutched up
NRG
so many times
eliminated.
this
Oh, yeah.
tournament. He is really back into peak form. You love to see it. LG, they are way down in the tunnels right now. TSM have not decided to go this way through. They cleared out so much space with all of those teams dying up towards Overlook just now that TSM are able to come down from the east. So LG, they'll have to get through Optic, who are currently at the mouth of those tunnels.
Yep, I knew
So
Optic was
difficult
down
here.
in
They
those
do
tunnels.
have a catalyst, but it's about how they approach
Here
this. One
comes
thing is so much of its
LG.
utility, then you have to deal with Oxygen eSports is on the outside. Look at the cat wall now going
Nice.
up. The black hole on top of that, sending everything that they got just in case through that doorway. But look who's looking to try to sandwich up the gaming. Oxygen eSports looking to get involved in this fight. They already get a knock at the Skittle Cake.
Optic just really let themselves be a little bit too passive there. LG takes the more proactive approach, and all of a
knocked
sudden
down.
Optic
Optic
is out
eliminated.
and gone from this first game.
But
Always.
LG still
Right
in a
now,
fight.
LG is going to be going up in stocks, playing off the bunker doors here. You see the piercing spikes put down in front of them. That's going to be TSM,
comes TSM.
looking for the opportunity to contest LG. They already get the first stock right here. Oxygen now playing a lot more passive, putting themselves in a risky situation. They're not going to get involved here, but TSM versus LG will.
Nice defensive
Nice knock.
gravity
Verholz gets
lift
one.
there, I believe that's blocking TSM out from going in, but he doesn't need it. Verholz has got way too
Nice.
much damage on the Prowler.
LG eliminated TSM. Verholz, the new kill leader. But Reps gets knocked. Effect from Alliance. Here comes Alliance.
Can you connect to you though? Maybe, yes. Maybe later on. When they're,
I don't have
you
ball.
gotta
I don't
shoot
have ball
them.
for him.
You gotta cue me and you shoot
Yeah,
him and you have to shoot them. You can give me, you can give me.
I'm
Gold
getting-
res, who has gold res?
I'm shooting him. I got it.
We need to
Is there a
take
guy
him.
inside, Evan? Is there not a guy? Not a guy. I don't It's a know, I solo don't know. inside. It's a solo.
I'm gonna scan, I'm gonna scan.
I need Optic Cell for wall. Actually,
Nobody
no.
inside, nobody inside, nobody inside right now. Look at scan. I'm
Okay.
healing up, I'm healing up.
Hey, blue
need
bats
to-
if you
we
need.
need
Blue
to go
bats if
outside
you
and
need.
heal
It
up
might
and
swing
shit.
inside. It might swing inside. Yep. There's 3 bats here if you need. I
We
need
need to
nades.
look
I
for
need
ultic
nades.
cells inside.
I got gold knock.
I'm healing outside right now. We need to look for ultic cells inside so we can get wall back.
Play. Put cues on this doorway over here, Evan. Yeah. Someone's close doorway. Not the bat.
Are you good?
Yeah. I'm only my side right now. We have digis. Use the digis.
I
with
did,
them.
yeah, I'm looking.
I got Craver. I got Craver from the rooftop.
okay.
They have a Craver on the rooftop on the right building.
I think we need to play for the kills on the rock out here.
We play
Let's
so
rock.
we can win this game. We can win this game here. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, only 6 squads left.
Okay.
Something
Wanna walk on the right
happened.
side?
I was about to say
Yeah,
it
we're
went
gonna
out.
play. We're gonna play on the front and shoot the team on the roof.
Okay.
They're right here. Can we shoot? Can we all peek this? One sec.
Yeah.
The solo's on the roof. He's giving up.
Crack the catalyst.
Horizon has the Craver.
74 on Sears, 74.
Nice shots there from Reps.
One dead.
Sit on 2. Nice.
Rubens don't cover, I don't think. No, they
Who
do
has the
cover.
Kraber? Was that them?
Dark Zero eliminated.
Okay.
Their team's still inside. I think. How do you
There's a
need?
team on the left rock
frags.
still. There's a team on the left rock
Whatever,
still.
whatever. I have 3 frags. You need?
Inside, jumping down. Shoot front.
You're gonna catwalk straight across here, I think, Graves. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna walk to the left and do it, I think. And then walk to the right. Straight across here, I think. Okay? Yep.
Look at scan.
There's a team right on our left, like really close to us. Playing the right side of our wall. Look at the kills.
They're diving them. Shoot the guy on the right. Rising cracked. I cracked three.
Made that.
I'm popping one. Horizon on the right.
Still on the right. Catwalk. Yep. All in.
We should look for the kills on the right.
We're in Bengal.
We're safe on me. Left side. Oh, he went down.
I'm peeking the left.
3 squads left.
I don't know where he's at.
Horizon one's out here. I killed a
Last team.
They get one.
I killed him already. It's 2v2.
2 left.
Where? On the right. He's down on the right.
They have caustic.
He's down on the right. Q and 10. Our walls are good. We're gonna have no cover. Let me bet the 8 this maybe.
Should we ping right? Should we swing right?
Swing right. Left.
In the
I'm reloading. Poke one.
TSM get win on map number 1.
TSM take game number 1. They stand up, they pop off, the crowd goes wild. They need doing it
TSM.
for Samantha. How?
Huge points on map 1.
Dark Zero getting taken out. Amazing catwall to secure that dub on top of it. At least when it comes to the rotation. Alliance on the other side.
Nicely done there by TSM to take that match number 1. I wanted to keep as much of that music out. He plays some pretty awesome music though, not gonna lie. But we're gonna try to keep as much of it out. Let's look at some of this replay here in the final circle.
To play as a solo. Looking back at the final circle, we heard the comms firsthand between Hal, Verholz. You saw the information being scanned by reps, but the tracking was insane. You heard them try to shoot down the horizon, literally one in that moment, but pushing this very slowly allowed them to get out of the action once the exhibit was called in from the other team.
Yeah, so they'd already taken down Dark Zero by this point. Moist also were in a tough spot. You saw all of them on the Seer scan. Now they put up the Dark Veil. Honestly, I was wondering if this was just a little bit too early. Obviously, it does split the fight, and now
It kind of slowed them down though to where they weren't getting double
on
teamed.
the other side. They helped them out of it, making sure to stay back, to stay south.
Because if they weren't, they would have been getting shot in the back by that other team. I think it was a perfect play.
3v3s. Now that KCP is finished off, they wait for the wall to go down. It has lasted.
Now they just had to find them. They didn't know they like, nope, they're not right. They have to be left.
Once that rock is out of play, it's too easy for TSM.
You're only playing
Yeah,
behind the
they're just
little
stacked.
arm of the tree at this point. Verholz, we have to highlight this legend. Looking at the amount of kills
Damn,
that this
look at
entire
that.
team put down. Reps with the 3 kills.
12, 15 kills for TSM. 2K damage for Hal and Verholz.
Yeah, so that's making me think.
Absolutely insane numbers out of TSM for map number 1. Let's look and see where everyone else landed though. I think KCP ended pretty good. Yep. Pioneers in 3rd, Alliance in 2nd. So Alliance ended up pushing through with a total of 16 points. Then Pioneers, Dark Zero ended up with a total of 10 points. So they're going to be up there in 4th place, even though they placed 6th. We got Moist eSports, Oxygen eSports, Optic Gaming down there in 9th, NRG in 10th. And then 100 Thieves, FaZe, Riddle Order, XSET still with only 1 point. I think it's only 3 kills is a point, maybe, something like that. Or no, you get kill. So kills is a point, then you get placement points for up to 15th place for your total points on the far right. So.
Crowd wave their signs. The CEO That's a great picture. It's one of my favorite ones. As we take a look at the series results after just that first game and adding on to the points that some of these teams are starting with. You mentioned it,
TSM,
TSM
36 points,
today.
Alliance,
On
24.
top of what they made for that first game, they're securing already 36 points out of the 50 that they need to already sit on match point.
Yeah, so the top 3 teams on the groups.
So yeah, that means TSM is only 14 points away from being able to be 1 win away from winning the whole thing already. So huge points there out of TSM to get themselves started hot, like Vicky Kitty there.
Play of talent we're seeing here on this stage, Vicky, that are just looking better than the rest.
And we absolutely take those, and after that first game, deciding how the rest of this day is going to go, I'm so excited, Genome. That was just our first game on World's Edge. We still have one more game.
But even after they get to 50 points, they still have to get 1 whole win. So if they go 4 or 5 matches without a win, someone else can make it start to breach that gap to they can get 50 points, and then they're only 1 win away from taking a match and the whole trophy for themselves. How many kills did Funk have in Split 2 regular season? I have no worldly idea. As much as this stuff is pretty cool to watch, I have no worldly idea. Oh, they're doing like a minute break. Well, let's just skip it, shall we? That's why I kind of have a little gap here for breaks like that where we don't have to get too crazy into it. But I want to thank you guys for coming around, hanging out while we're watching the Apex Legends Global Series. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you a lot of competitive esports. We try to bring you some Halo, a lot of Call of Duty League, and then now we're going to try to bring you guys some Apex Legends Global Series. So make sure you guys subscribe and hang out with us even more as we go into match number 2. Let's say, get the drop.
Point finals. We're staying on World's Edge here, everybody, and the drop ship is ready. Of course,
Yeah, they play 2 maps on World's Edge, and then we're going to go to 2 maps on Storm Point, and then it just goes back and point, World's Edge, Storm Point, World's Edge, Storm Point, World's Edge, I believe. So 2 and 2 until someone is crowned the Split 2 champions for playoffs.
The only contest, it means everyone else gets to loot freely. Of course, we had an Eastern Zone in match number 1. We'll have to see where it pulls this tape. Just as the teams take a little second to hit their drop spots, it gives us a second to just praise Danny Verhulst. My goodness, what a performance he had in that game. One especially
absolutely
in the
insane.
end game, not missing a bullet. Which led
Oh
TSM
shit, he had a guy drop on him.
That contest you were talking about, Dan. Already some shots being fired. And it's such an influential contest as well because it holds a central area in the map as already Gio got the upper hand here.
Oh!
Straight up the zip line and straight into his face. Gonna be 2 dead here for Blackhand already, and this is looking like it's gonna be 2-0 in the final result of this contest. For now, just one player trying to escape. It looks like Yuzna is gonna be able to chase him down. Should be able to get the damage done for them to convert upon a clean wipe, and it's looking
so
like
they usually have
once more.
this determined beforehand,
again, and that means they can now just
like where they're gonna drop, and they'll know that hey, this team's gonna drop on us, so they're ready for the fight usually as they're dropping.
Survey camp is going to be around where we're finishing here for match number 2. So Riddle Order in the prime position to move
Central,
in and set
Circle.
up camp. 100 Thieves exit, a nice
Riddle Order and Pulverex already, and FaZe already really close to the middle circle.
So for now, it's just the looting part. You can see that's the only contest that we do have.
Ascend and Alliance have the farthest to go.
Is aware of as well. This is going to be a tough zone for TSM to get to after their hot start. But Fire Beavers, they're going to have good access. They're going to have prior. Riddle Order, like you mentioned, going to have prior as well. And we know those back rocks, it's pretty much the area you want to hold, overlooking a lot of survey camp. That extreme height differential that you can get from holding there is such a difference maker towards the end game.
I think one of the most impressive things from match 1 with TSM was how well they held that choke for so long throughout the game.
They did. They held that one tunnel area freaking amazing.
Now for NRG, of course, only 5 points at the moment, quite a way behind
NRG,
TSM, but of course we know
prolific squad
This is
in
really
Apex Legends.
Actually. The contest that went down may have just thrown the timing of this rotate for NRG off. They may have been expecting a team to have already left from Landslide, but instead, Geo are putting some shots into their back. It looked like NRG managed to avoid that, but that's another kind of thing that happens, right, on contests. It's not only your own rotational timing that gets thrown off, you could throw other teams off too.
It's something NRG will be aware of and also keeping their ear to the ground just in case that fight's still going on when they're making their rotation, so they could third party if they want. Now TSM have already made their way north, and again it's going to be an evac tower to keep on going up towards the area of survey camp, or they could try and set up a little bit south of survey camp if they feel like it is going to pull a little bit, because it still could shift east, and maybe that's what TSM are trying to
Watching TSM heavy.
2 balloons going to be used by TSM on this rotate. One over at Lava Siphon, the other one carried in the back pocket, in the backpack of one of the players, as we see also FC Destroy approaching the bridge as well. So TSM have the timing on them, and they can get control of that little building just up on the height. So TSM, I imagine that's where they'll look to play from for quite some time. Dark Zero heading right in towards zone, but FC Destroy not too far away from TSM here.
And when it comes to mentality, when you are a competitor in this final and you've just seen TSM do that, the fact they started on 9 points already, you know TSM are within touching distance of match point. You've got to make sure that you set the record straight in match number 2. You make sure you're the one who can put destiny in your own hands and get a victory on the board so you can get closer. Because I tell you what, I would not be surprised if TSM are up there after, it could be match 2, if not match 3 here.
Very, very interesting to see how that dynamic of what was a monster game 1 from TSM changes things, like you say, for everyone else in this one. Exit though. Been a bit of a shaky tournament, but they are here. And that's the most important thing to remember. But at the moment,
Missed that.
they're under some duress. It's Moist eSports, the Aussies, who are underneath them. And I say that black hole didn't look too good coming down from height.
Remember, Moist did start on 10 points coming into today after their incredible performance in that winner's bracket. We'll have to see whether they can just hold off Exet here. It was a pretty poor black hole that might have just allowed Moist to stay alive, but one goes down. And this could open things up for Exet to try and finish off the
Oxygen gets 1 and 2 for Moist.
But also, look at the kill feed. Oxygen are getting involved in this, and it's looking like really bad news here for Moist eSports. The shots being fired, they're kind of pinched between
Fnatic
two teams.
also
Speaking
fighting
of fights
somebody.
going down, you can see Fnatic, they're involved in one at the moment, and they've just won it over Geo.
Yeah, Geo eliminated.
Geo.
That's great news for Fnatic. There's a lot of extra loot that they can pick up now on their rotation, and they can actually hold this train track for quite some time, and maybe be able to pick up a lot of teams that are going to try and rotate through the northern way after they come from that southern tip. But it will be a real decision from them as to whether they fancy just going for those kills, playing a little bit more edge, or if they want to push more central in towards survey camp. But at the moment, Skyhook, there's just a lot of teams who are posturing up against one another.
Teams.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bottleneck at the moment over at Skyhook, and 100 Thieves, Exet, Oxygen,
Moist
all trying
just
to find their way through.
eliminated
Moist
their
eSports
last guy.
have been eliminated, as you can see in the feed, but Oxygen now starting to chip away at Exet. Reeds is going to be the man to get that
Oxygen
opening
knocked the one
knock,
guy
and
from
that is the
Exet.
knock
They're
that they
pushing
wanted.
hard. Here they
That is
come.
the knock that they needed. Now they can close the gap and try and
Picked him
pressurize
up already,
even more.
but
Didn't move quick enough to actually re-engage in the fight, though. You could see there with the silhouettes, the res came through, and Oxygen know full well they have been too slow. They have to move back out, and they don't want to be pushing on this. In the grand finals, you can't afford to just have a lackluster push. It has to be a full commit. You can't be wishy-washy with it. Instead, everyone together. I think that's a sensible decision from Oxygen, who currently are in 4th place, 15 points. Just as to set the kind of standard here, they are 20 points behind TSM at the moment.
Certainly a dark horse for this tournament. They have been, I would say, one of the most impressive teams that have not been talked about enough in the build-up to this tournament, and certainly what they've done over the last 3 days to get to this finals is something they will be happy with. But getting this close, Dan, as you know, it's great to get to the finals. That's mission 1, right? But then you've got a chance of winning it, and Oxygen may be thinking that. Fnatic, though, they're on a slightly different path right now, going down south.
I think for Oxygen, as long as they can get into that final circle, I mean, I'd always back them with how well they've been fighting. The decision-making has been excellent every single time they get into those 3v3 engagements and also the final circles. The wins speak for themselves. They've been able to find throughout this weekend. You could say the same for Fnatic, who have also had several victories on their side, a couple of them coming on World's Edge, so they will feel comfortable here on this map. But remember, if we were to see TSM get onto match point here in match 2, we do switch over to Storm Point for match 3, and suddenly that opens up a whole new dynamic for a lot of these squads who maybe were performing better on that map.
Back over to survey camp, you can see Ascend. They're fighting against Dark Zero right now. They did lose one. Look, it's going to be red for Dark Zero. They're not going to let them get away with that.
Ascend
destroyed,
eliminated.
dismantled by Dark Zero here.
By Dark Zero,
That's going to be their
the current
side
world
of survey
champions.
camp. They do not want to let anyone enter.
And it was an early exit for Dark Zero in match number 1, but 17 points at the moment. in third place, and we know what Dark Zero are capable of. They've won championships, they've lifted trophies, and they want to do it again. When it comes to match point, Dark Zero are the match point specialists. They just seem to know how to get it done. Whether it's composure, whether it's
They're
getting
already
to
in
match
third
point
place at
fast,
17
whether it's
points,
not
so.
falling to
And
the pressure when you are there on match point. Dark
I
Zero
think
just seem to
4
have the perfect
kills
recipe as a
to
squad.
their
Something
squad
to note
name
as well
already,
from
so
our
that means
game
4
one, just where
points
we have
plus
a little
placement.
lull in the action here. TSM, yes, 36 points is where they stand at the moment. They're not too far off of 50 where match point is, but just in behind them, involved in that end game, was Alliance as well. They have 24 points, so it's not just TSM who might be able to jump on a match point in this next game. Alliance will need a big game, don't get me wrong, but they're very capable of reaching it right now.
They are capable of it. I mean, they've not really had massive games as close to what TSM were able to achieve, but we've seen it throughout online season. It's definitely achievable for them. For TSM, they only need 14 points to get to match point. So even if they were to finish kind of top 5 with a good amount of kills, it's still very achievable for them as well. But we've seen so many times when teams are starting to get closer to match
Alliance
point,
playing
they
well.
fall out in the early stages. But good news for TSM is they have been able to post up nice and early. So here's Alliance, where you were talking about, the only caustic in the lobby at the moment, and it really could make a difference in those final circles.
Fnatic and Alliance both in trouble at the moment.
Caustic got
Initially,
knocked.
it was Alliance firing into the back of Fnatic, and Dark Zero trying to hold
Dark Zero.
everybody out of survey count once again.
TSM
He wants to
also
finish them off
into the
here.
fight.
He wants to push, he wants to pressure, and Dark Zero are doing everything they can at the moment to control not just the building, but the entirety of survey
Yeah,
count.
Dark Zero just trying to spread themselves out here at Survey Camp and trying to eliminate any other team from getting in and taking those spots off of them. Sensible decision, though, to back off ever so slightly. You don't want to push and get too aggressive and lose one player and then allow a third party to happen, so they need to do this tactically.
They're trying to fly in.
Oh,
my
good
goodness,
shot.
186 is pretty good. 30 even better. It's Fnatic
eliminated.
Dark Zero keep everyone on their
Dark
feet.
Zero
They
get a
the
few
armor
more
swaps
points.
and find yet another victim here inside a survey
You can
camp.
see how they were planning it. They wanted to make sure they could get in, get out, and make sure those shield swaps would happen, and it just meant that no other team could even possibly push them here. Fire
Another
Beavers are close,
Fire
though, and we
Beavers.
know what Fire Beavers are like. They like to hold down that W key, they like to get aggressive, but they also need to be careful and aware of what could happen if they expose themselves from the west.
Yeah, a little bit of a scary moment there for Dark Zero. Like you say, Fire Beavers putting some good damage in.
Oh,
as
he's
they
got a little
try to
gun he's
cross
got.
back. But the good news for Dark Zero, nobody went down. That signal wasn't given. Like it was for Dark Zero and Fnatic a few moments ago, that we can close that ground
Optic
and
and
we can
FC.
push and clear them out. For now, though, elsewhere on the map, we're going over towards Climatizer at the moment. This is Optic Gaming on our screens, but right next to them, a couple of other teams as well. FC Destroy and Pioneers very, very close here. And Skillcase has decided maybe there's too many teams to make him feel comfortable.
They are going to be forced together. Pioneers are also in the area, and now Optic Gaming just need to make sure they try and group up. They're so scattered at the moment.
Skittles
Skillcase
gets
has gone
knocked.
down, and now it's dropped and knocked.
Not
Who
knocked,
have
knocked,
to try
but
and
he gets
salvage
down,
something
he's down.
here. KCP do hold, they get that first
FC
knock.
Destroy.
But FC Destroy also here as well. The zone closing behind them, but they will be safe in this little corner.
And we've seen what FC Destroy could do with this composition on this map as Zayn is just going
Pioneers
to
with a
escape, rat out and try and stay alive here as FC Destroy have made their fortress once more. All these teams at Climatizer will eventually have to move in towards Survey Camp. It's TSM that are waiting for them, gatekeeping them. But FC Destroy do have the ability just
Still
to make sure they
15
stay alive
squads
right
left.
now.
FC Destroy with this walking fortress of a composition. And we saw how effective it can be if they can get into a good spot in zone yesterday, but also walking forward as a fortress, a pretty good thing to do as well. So difficult to push, but Optic, they've lost one. Skillcake is down at the moment, and like I mentioned, looks pretty unlikely they're going to be able to get that banner as well.
And I think teams like FC Destroy are going to be delighted that we don't have the Digi-Threat in the Crafter today, because playing Bang, they can get those smokes down. You can then traverse across the map and just avoid all that fire without having to worry about Digi-Threats too much. Now, of course, Digi-Threats still exist. They can still happen, but it's not going to be as prominent in these lobbies. Now it's out of the Crafter. So 15 squads remain. 100 Thieves, another squad who exited very early in match number 1, are just holding this western side. If they do decide to push through these train tracks, it's Alliance who are waiting for them.
Alliance in our eyes right now, and as they try and hold off the push coming in from 100 Thieves, it's a perfect time to jump into a listening with Alliance.
If they push, they get pinched. We just stall it. Yep. Caustic ult. Someone evacuating.
They have to come this side.
Cat good. I'm just holding my Q.
Yeah, we might get sleepies from here.
They're leaving now, they're leaving.
You don't need to hold the Q, you need to just ADS, they're gonna hear it as well.
Yeah, I'm just holding my Q, making them scared.
You can ADS as well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, but I'd rather Q in case they push, you know, it's better to counter Q. Like, if they Q me, I'm just gonna Q instantly back, okay? Basically.
That team has to come and fight us, right? Or go around. They can't really... Unless the evac from here.
It's a Catalyst Horizon team, I think. I don't know what the third is.
Yes, it is.
They have the evac over, otherwise they come fight us.
That's fine, that's fine. That's what we want. We just don't want them to A-pulse.
This team should have left by now as well.
Yeah, they're playing north side.
Bengal looking here.
They're leaving, they're coming your side. Careful. Keep yourself up. Nobody close on my scan.
I'm gonna put 2 more barrels on this side.
Listen, there's a duo here, Horizon and Bangalore, and City's holding back there still on Grandmas.
Give you 1 barrel here.
Just make sure we kill the team on the right. We need to take that spot. If they slide down, they need to die, okay?
Okay.
Just don't die for it. We just pinch.
Shall we head this way?
Yeah, that's about right. Don't let them land on that spot. We're gonna have to save our APC for that spot, by the way.
It's fine. We're just walking late.
Alliance making sure that they keep track of everything that's going on around them at the moment. You heard from the comms, they were waiting for the decision from 100Ds. Are they going to evac tower? That's the only way to get around them, but now you're seeing the push of what could be a very good position to hold. Riddle versus NRG, and Riddle are taking him apart here.
Oh my goodness gracious, first goes down. Can they follow up? NRG
100
down
Thieves
like
also getting
flies as
attacked,
Riddle
but NRG
assert
eliminated.
their dominance and continue their fine form. Elsewhere, Exet versus LG. They've already lost 1, but they've traded it out. LG now lost 2.
Exit looking like they're on top of this.
Now 100 Thieves eliminated.
In the meantime, Fire Beaver's involved in that, as Nocturnal sends in the Rolling Thunder. But look at LG, they're trying to make this one a little bit mixy, a little bit dicey. As fun as re-knocked, but look at the damage coming in now from Nocturnal on that ultimate. Yanya left on his own, it's a 1v2, but if anyone could do it, Yanya can.
It's a 1v2, but there's a lot of noise that's being made as LG Chivas do get eliminated. Exet stay on top. Where's the third party, though? Is anyone going to be in the area? Yes! Alliance are there. Effect gets the knock, and Exet can't take a break. They can't manage to get the shield swap, and now will Alliance try and press up on this?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Can they push on it? They've got other teams in the vicinity, and also they have to come over that ridge, which is going to expose them. But I mean, who cares if you're Effect? He takes to the sky. He sends XX Scarper in. He wants more
Here he
kills.
comes. This is the guy they were talking
One
about.
rat you saw on Oxygen, he was just hiding. He was trying to survive. He might get caught out because of this, but I love the aggression from Alliance. You can see the confidence in this squad.
And they have found that rat. Yes, they have indeed. Another kill goes down.
Oxygen eSports eliminated.
Alliance will get all of this loot to play with, and to be fair, Exet managed to just about escape from that situation. However, elsewhere on the map, TSM are also overlooking this fight. Exit at the moment down to 2, but Sykes is going to be able to get fun back up here.
TSM, by the way, are now up to 41 points with where they currently stand and the kills they've been able to get in this game. They are 9 points away from match point in match number 2 here at the grand finals of the Split 2 playoffs. That is unbelievable. To put that into context, if they were to get into the top 5 here with a couple of more kills, that would be match point. And the position they currently hold is very strong because all of these teams like Exet, Alliance, Dark Zero and Fire Beavers have all got to push uphill. TSM are going to be able to rain down hell on all of them.
Evac towers down. Here come Alliance now. This could be a fight for the ages because they're trying to approach on TSM. They're going to have to play under them for now. We've been talking about Verhulst, we've been talking about Effect. Well, this battle could be massive for the context of not just that little story, but where this tournament heads.
TSM are right above them, and they are grouping as well, as Alliance now are getting a little bit of grief from Dark Zero getting involved, but all the meanwhile, TSM can just look down from above here,
the black hole.
and they start to get involved.
The black hole comes down, but that just invites Dark Zero to come and have a piece of this.
Going
Alliance,
down.
all of a sudden find themselves in a little bit of a
Dark
shambles.
Zero.
TSM don't let this opportunity slip. They slide in, they get a couple of kills. Exit out in the meantime.
Exit out, Alliance out, Pioneers out.
TSM are picking
8
up kills,
squads
5
left.
points off match point, but FC Destroy are in the area as Dark Zero will finish off Riddle Order. 7 squads remain. TSM still alive, but FC Destroy were griefing them. But TSM, it looks like they have got back up to a full 3, and they've managed to get Verhulst back on his feet.
Dark Zero down
Fire
in this low
Beavers,
ground.
dude.
Fire Beavers eliminated.
caught.
Fire Beavers will not be partaking in this final fight that we're going to see. The solo was dismantled, taken apart, as TSM march forward once more. little bit of loot to play with here for them as well. That's how the lay of the land is at the moment. Optic Gaming right in the middle of that truck. Next to them, sharing the carriage almost, is Pulverex. FaZe are wrapped to the north side of this zone. And then on the other side, you can see FC Destroy overlooking the position of TSM.
Pulverex and FC Destroy certainly in good spots right now, especially when you consider their compositions as well. FaZe, still a squad who can do some damage from this northern side. I like to play north in this zone because you can come from above, you can use the lips as a little bit of a head glitch and manage to just get some nice shots onto some teams and take that advantage. 6 squads though remaining means you have to be very careful with where you try and push here, because if you expose yourself from even the slightest angle, there could be several teams that will just destroy you as you move.
Tough thing here is the rotate for TSM and Dark Zero. How do they try and approach it? Dark Zero are going to have to go through Optic and FaZe. On the other side of things, TSM are going to have to be so aware of the position of FC Destroy. Yes, TSM have the high ground here, but they don't have the zone. That's going to be pulling towards Pulverex.
4 points required for TSM to get onto match point, and now they're making their move towards FC Destroy. Dark Veil goes down just to give them that extra cover, and even though FC Destroy are going to post up and take this fight, TSM look like they know they have to go in this direction. They can't afford to go north.
The kills might be enough here for TSM if they can get them, but there's the Newcastle wall. The castle wall's a problem, but so is Verhulst. He's going in, but can't quite get the knock. There's the mobile
TSM eliminated.
Newcastle showing how valuable he is to FC Destroy. Dark Zero now using the Dark Veil that was put down to try and shadow their way in.
Pulverex go down as well.
Pulverex
Dark Zero now
eliminated.
pushing to try
Optic
and take
eliminated.
this spot off of Pulverex. And Zarnu starts to shred, but
Dark
he's
Zero
gone down as
going
well.
down. FaZe.
With Zero. Couple kills go down. It's FaZe who are feeling
Zero
the pain
does
right
get
now.
one.
Jin trying to survive. Can he win this
FaZe
one?
eliminated.
Can you get the armor swap? Or has that
FC
just
Destroy
opened the door?
comes
But
in
FC
and gets the win.
They
FaZe
stop
almost
TSM
got
in
that
their
too.
tracks. They take them out of the game,
And Dark Zero was the last one to be eliminated before FC Destroy was just the last rat to come in.
Match point. But FC Destroy put a win on the board and put themselves up to 24 points, almost halfway to match point. Such a solid hold.
24 points for FC Destroy, pretty good.
I just start to think, Watson plus Newcastle, it's such a tough composition to try
Controller
and push
man.
And FC Destroy, they hold strong, they then get... They bide their time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. APAC win. There's a lot of teams from Australia in this. TSM also doing well. They might end up being on match point here. Let's check out the replay of FC Destroy.
Well, Hamadrill plays this as well. As soon as the Dark Veil goes down, Hamadrill doesn't allow them to freely rotate. Instead, he takes a peek here to do the initial damage, then he backs off and joins the rest of the team. And it's the Newcastle Castle wall which just gives them the ultimate advantage in this push. And TSM, I think they kind of knew when you're pushing onto a team like this, it's always going to be a tough fight. They did great damage, but they just weren't able to get that knock. And it meant FC Destroy always had the gun advantage.
Wow.
They always had that extra player.
Yeah.
And from this point, they got all that extra loot, all of the extra resources. They watched the kill feed come to life, and it was just a matter of time before they were going to get the win.
Yeah, very simple for them to do after the hard work was done. Just walking up onto that train car, a little bit of damage you would imagine would be done just before they
Yeah,
do
it was
approach,
Dark Zero and
not on
FaZe
either side
last
for
two.
Dark Zero and
Dark
FaZe.
Zero ended up
Just
clutching
walking in and
it.
saying, hey, this is probably one of the easiest wins we'll have and easiest end games we'll have to convert.
And
They
then
actually filled the
they
filled the
came
two
around and
remaining
got
players
shot up right in the
air
back.
to put down a 19.
But a 19-point game for FC Destroy, a 23-point game, 14 kills for Dark Zero, the world champions of last year. FaZe with 11 points. TSM still get 10 points, but they didn't quite break the top 5, so I don't think TSM is quite on match point on this next map, which means they'll at this, even if they get to 50 points, even if they get the win, they still won't win until they are on 50 points before their match. So let's check out what they say about
as
this.
being one of the first teams to maybe 27.
We saw X is already getting such big points totals. It does become concerning for some of these squads who haven't got any points yet. Ascend in that Storm Point could be the big difference for.
We highlight
Yeah,
the
we're
game
going
from Dark
Storm
Zero,
Point.
understandably so. Very, very impressive from them, which leaves them
Looks
on
like they're going to take a break too.
36 points total. We'll take a look at some of the stats coming in from the man on your screen right now. 0. What a game it was from him. 7 kills to his name, but the damage being dealt by his teammates. And I have to say, Zainu, in some of those situations where they were trying to breach buildings, stop reses coming in, he was hitting some big sprays.
And they got their
Too big,
reward.
just enough big.
They got their reward for holding Survey Camp, for asserting dominance in Survey Camp for so long that when that circle started to shift, they had all the goodies they could want. They had the grenades to constantly pepper those teams who were arriving. And I tell you what, you don't need a win if you're getting that many kills. If you can get that much points on the board, you can be consistent. Worry about getting that win when you're on match point.
Speaking of
Yeah,
match points, this is how it
TSM
stands
not
over.
quite on match point. They are at 46 points. So at the very least, we're looking at a couple more games. I think that's going to do it here for the first one. We're going to bring you 2 games at a time on these videos. I'll bring you the next 2 games. Because like I said, we're at least looking at 2 more games if TSM does well and maybe win the one of them. But Dark Zero with 36 points. Alliance over halfway to the 50-point mark with 27 after 2 games. So lots of Apex Legends still to be played. Stick around for more on the channel.